There are two people I've known for years. They both live in the same city. Both are in their early 30s. Both earn almost the same salary. On paper, their lives should look identical. But they don't. One of them always seems tired when money comes up. He's not irresponsible. He works hard. Shows up every day. Gets his direct deposit on time, twice a month. And yet, by the second week, he's already checking his balance carefully. Not because something went wrong. Just because something always happens. A car repair. A dinner out that cost more than expected. A subscription renewal he forgot about. A weekend trip that felt small in the moment. Nothing dramatic. Nothing reckless. Just life. The other person? Same salary. But he doesn't seem to feel that same quiet pressure. He's not flashy. Doesn't talk about investing. Doesn't obsess over budgeting apps. And yet, at the end of the month, he still has space. Not abundance. Just space. For a long time, I thought the difference must be something obvious. Maybe one earned more. Maybe one was secretly disciplined. Maybe one had better luck. But over time, watching them live their lives, something else became clear. It wasn't about how much they earned. It was about how their lives were structured around money. Because the truth is, most paychecks don't disappear because of one big mistake. They disappear quietly. Through patterns. Take mornings, for example. One of them starts the day already behind. Running late. Grabs coffee on the way. Sometimes breakfast too. Not because he wants to spend, but because time feels tighter than money. It's easier to swipe a card than reorganize a morning. And this repeats. 5 days a week. Not dramatic, but steady. The other? He didn't cut coffee out of his life. He just changed when and how it happens. Not as a rule. Just as a rhythm. And that rhythm changes what money feels like by the end of the month. That's the part most people miss. Money doesn't leave in big emotional decisions. It leaves through small repeated comforts. Convenience. Relief. Speed. Another pattern shows up in evenings. After long workdays, both of them feel the same exhaustion. One opens a delivery app. Because cooking feels like effort. Because the day already took enough. Because the price difference feels small compared to the need for rest. And again, it's not irresponsible. It's human. The other orders too. Just not as often. Not because he's stronger. But because somewhere along the way, he built a life where exhaustion doesn't automatically lead to spending. That's a subtle difference. But over a year, it becomes structural. Then there's the social layer. One says yes more often. To dinners. Trips. Events. Not to show off. But to belong. To stay connected. To avoid feeling like the one who's always saying no. Because saying no doesn't just feel like declining an invitation. Sometimes it feels like stepping outside the group. And that's uncomfortable. The other still shows up. But chooses which moments matter. Not every moment. That difference doesn't show up in a single weekend. It shows up over years. This is where the real insight begins. Paychecks don't disappear because people are careless. They disappear because modern life is designed to make spending feel like relief. Relief from stress. Relief from time pressure. Relief from loneliness. Relief from fatigue. And when spending becomes relief, it stops feeling like a decision. It starts feeling like maintenance. Like something necessary to keep life moving. That's why so many middle-class professionals feel confused. They're not reckless. They're not chasing luxury. They're just trying to make daily life smoother. And smoothness has a price. The apps that save time cost money. The services that reduce effort cost money. The small comforts that keep stress manageable cost money. Individually, they feel reasonable. Collectively, they reshape the paycheck. Over time, a pattern forms. Money goes where friction is reduced, not where value is highest. And that's the quiet shift. Because once money becomes a tool for reducing discomfort, it leaves faster than we notice. So where does the paycheck go? Not into luxury. Not into waste. It goes into making life feel easier. Easier mornings. Easier evenings. Easier weekends. Easier social lives. Easier decisions. The problem is, ease compounds. A slightly easier morning becomes a paid habit. A slightly easier evening becomes a recurring expense. A slightly easier weekend becomes a lifestyle expectation. And soon, the paycheck isn't supporting your goals. It's supporting your comfort patterns. This doesn't mean comfort is wrong, but it means comfort isn't free. And most people don't realize how much of their income is dedicated to maintaining it. The people who feel less financial pressure aren't always earning more. They've simply separated comfort from spending more often. They rest without purchasing. They socialize without upgrading every experience. They simplify instead of outsourcing every inconvenience. Over time, this creates breathing room. Not through sacrifice, but through awareness. Because the real shift isn't budgeting. It's noticing. Noticing when spending is solving a problem. And when it's soothing a feeling. Once you see that difference, something changes. You stop asking, "Where did my paycheck go?" And start asking, "What was I trying to feel?" Less stressed? More connected? More in control? More rested? Money often leaves in pursuit of a feeling. And when the feeling fades, the expense remains. This is why two people with the same income live such different financial lives. Not because of discipline, but because of how often they let money carry emotional weight. One uses money to stabilize life constantly. The other allows life to stay slightly imperfect. And that small tolerance for imperfection creates financial stability over time.